Hi everyone, I'm so excited about this fall decor item. It is a coaster. Maybe on the screen it looks huge, but I promise it's about the size of a coaster that you would need for even a large cup. So all this is hand sewing, and what we're going to do is I'll show you how to construct this. I will tell you what's in your kit. So in your kit you will have 8 squares of fabric. Some of them repeat, some do not. But there is enough in the kit to make 2 coasters, so you could share with a friend. And there's different fabrics, so you can pick and choose which you want to show on the front and back. Also in your kit is a piece of brown felt for the stem, and some batting to put in the middle to give it some body and softening, and then your thread. Also, you will find the instructions with pictures to hopefully help you as well, and the template for everything you need. Okay, here we go. And by the way, these are called homespun fabrics, which means they are 100% cotton, and it's the same coloring through. So when they fringe, you get the same color throughout, and they're always a lot of fun to work with. Okay, so first of all, you will cut out these shapes from the template. Cut them out with your paper scissors. Cut those out. And also you will place the larger template. It says cut 4 of these. So again, you have 8 fabrics, so you can pick and choose, but just go ahead and cut the 8 out. I would do it probably 2 pieces at a time, just to save you cutting time. And then this smaller piece will be the batting, which is the center. And it must be smaller than the outer fabric, or it will show on the edge. And if you decide you prefer your own pumpkin shape, you can use your own. But keep in mind the batting needs to be at least a 1/2 inch smaller than the coaster fabrics. And after you cut these templates out and you cut your fabric out, you cut your batting out, you're going to use the stem pattern and cut 2 stems. At that point, you're going to layer. Well, decide first how you want your pumpkin. Which fabrics do you want to show on the back and front? Everything in between will not really show except on the fringe. So decide which 2 you want. Maybe you want this one for the front and this one for the back, but you can make them the same or different. So you will stack 2 fabrics. This is for each coaster. You will stack 2 of the homespun cut out pumpkins down. Then you will lay a batting piece on top of 2 of the pieces of homespun, and then you'll put your other 2 homespun on top. So you have a sandwich of 4 fabrics with the batting in between. At this point, and I kind of played with different ways on the construction, but when I cut the stem out and put it between my fabrics, because you want it in there, I then pulled the outer 2 fabrics so that I could stitch the stem between 2 fabrics. Just anything to secure it so it won't move. Preferably your stitches will be covered with the outer fabrics. So you get your stem sewn in there, then you lay it all out, pin it well, and you can either mark it now or after you do the perimeter stitching. But what I did is I marked these lines for the veins of the pumpkin. Be sure to mark them with something that is either air erasable or at least erasable or brush off, because it will show otherwise. And I forgot to remove mine, but you probably can't see that. So after you have the veins marked, you will then thread your needle with, and I used a double layer, and this is a thicker thread than most sewing thread. It's called a carpet or a craft thread. I like it when I do projects like this because it shows better. But I also use double thickness, so I threaded my needle, brought it down and tied a knot. And then you will start by going in between the layers here and come out. And you stitch about a 1/2 inch perimeter around the pumpkin. Try not to make it perfect. Pumpkins are not perfect, and we don't want our pumpkins to be perfect. So you stitch around, whatever type of stitch you like. It's called a running stitch, where I went in, I took a very short stitch in the back and came back out and took a longer stitch in the front. I was hoping the back would look as nice as the front, but the stitching, because they're short stitches in the back, it doesn't look as pretty, but that's fine. This was designed to be my front anyway. Okay, so you do that perimeter stitching all the way around, tie it off between the fabrics so your knots don't show, and then you're going to do the same with the veins. In and out, follow the curve that you want. So when that is finished, you're then going to take a pair of scissors and clip along the edge. I'm going to pull this up kind of close. I did about 1/4 inch in. You certainly don't want to cut your thread. You know what happens if you cut that thread. You get to stitch it over. So about 1/4 inch in and about 1/4 inch apart, and then it will ruffle up. And you have the choice when you finish as far as the amount of ruffle. This is just kind of hand ruffled, or this kind of look, the shabby chic. If you really want it ruffled, you could put it in the washing machine in a mesh bag, launder it on low speed or spin cycle, and I would probably air dry it. But just keep in mind, homespun ruffles, ravels, frays very easily, so be careful at the end. And of course, these would be washable for later. So have fun making 2 of them, share them. Have a cup of tea or a warm cider with a friend this fall, and I'll see you next time.